Happy hump day, everybody. Am I in the right place and am I live? So, full disclosure, I almost just went live in the private client group and then I remembered, oh no, Clara, you're in the wrong place. So, please encourage me. Claire Manning, you've done it. Okay, if you're watching this live, please give me a hashtag live. And if you're watching this on the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. So I'm going to actually do my best to take my glasses on and off through this live because the glare off of these is absolutely horrible. But of course I kind of need to put them on and off to see your comments. So wish me luck there. Today is the day that I graduated to full on little old lady. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about my favourite kind of health and wellness purchases. It's not just about food and fitness. We're all about kind of holistic health here. A funny story, I've just off a call with a lady who's coming to join us, and when I asked her to cut out her caffeine, not cut out her caffeine but cut down her caffeine, she nearly had a hairy canary. And that's a good example of one of the things that we get people doing. We ask them to kind of manage and control their caffeine intake, and so often when I talk to people about this, they'll say, oh, but I don't have milk in it, so there's no calories. And I'll say, right, that's fine, but I actually had a lady join us in October of last year who was having 20 coffees a day, and I wonder if she'll appear on this live and identify herself. You know who you are. But anyway, so the things I'm going to talk about here are not specific to food and fitness. Things like that will be mentioned, but there'll be other wee kind of just wellness bits involved as well. So hello ladies, we've got lots of people who have joined us already. Hi. For our newer ladies, so our clients and our ex-clients will know me really well. Hello, I am Clara Innes and I am head coach here at EMW. I am live all the time over in the private client group, and of course our clients talk to me on a fortnightly basis, so a lot of the ladies here will know who I am, but I haven't been around on this page very much. So firstly, apologies for that, and welcome to anyone who happens to be new. I hope you really like it here. And just a little bit about me. So I am based in central Scotland. My background, strangely enough, is actually in finance and banking. So I used to work at RBS. I was there for about 15 years. I did a lot of coaching, a lot of mentoring there, but I concentrated on helping businesses grow. And then after that, I worked at breast cancer care for a few years, and that was really fun as well, but not quite as dynamic as what I had been used to. So I had went straight from kind of corporate finance into the third sector, and it was great in some ways, but in other ways it wasn't quite so great. My passion for wellness and health came about after I had my second child, and I was struck down because basically I had 2 babies in 2 years, and I felt like I had been pregnant or breastfeeding for 2 years. My body was a mess, and I found myself with postnatal depression that went undiagnosed for quite some time. So I absolutely credit managing health, taking control, getting to the gym, managing my nutrition with my kind of turnaround. After that, I started to get really into it. I trained as a personal trainer and my nutrition qualification. So the majority of my background in coaching has came from corporate. I have got many years of experience from that, and I have been doing nutrition and fitness coaching and mindset coaching for the last 4 years or so. And if you don't mind me saying, I am very good at it. You've seen our before and afters. Our pictures and our testimonials really do speak for themselves. What else is there to know about me? I am pretty much obsessed with all things musical theatre, drag and Disney, and I've got a camper van. I love going camping, I love going on holiday, I love dancing, and I love just generally making a bit of an arse of myself. So there you go, that's me. Now, before we get into the actual items that I wanted to discuss, I've brought along one of the things that I have bought in the past, just as an illustration that I will buy anything, okay? See if if there's something that someone anywhere says that'll help you, I'll just go buy it. I'm not as bad as I used to be, but this is one of the funniest things I've ever bought. So this, I can't get a curl in my hair, so it's great when I want my hair to be straight, but if I use tongs, if I use wavers, if I use anything, nothing's ever worked. So one day I went out and bought this thing, which is supposed to mimic, like, see in the salon when you see the wee old ladies sitting, I'll put it up here, you see the wee old ladies sitting getting their curlers set, and you're supposed to put it over and tie it nice and tight, and then attach your hairdryer here. But of course, what happens is, it's either freezing when your hairdryer's on cold, or it roasts your ears off when your hairdryer's on hot. So, this wasn't expensive to be fair, but it is absolutely evidence that I will buy anything. Yeah, such a consumer. So, now on to the things that I actually use. Thank you, Sarah. I think I look quite pretty in it as well. So, where to get started? I don't actually have an order. Let me start with the most obvious things. First things that I find really, really useful and that I think everybody should have nailed is their kind of water receptacles. And I know this can seem quite boring, but this is us going back to our James Clear and our Atomic Habits. Make it easy to succeed, make it hard to fail. So we're looking for ways to make water sexy, aren't we? I drink 3 litres of water a day, and I ask all my clients to do the same, and I ask them to have a system. So if they're drinking rancid tap water out of a minging glass, no, they're not going to enjoy it. But if they get a lovely, you know, kind of insulated bottle that's quite pretty, that they like seeing sitting on their desk. Claire Manning, just to be clear, you do buy random things. You're just as bad as me. These kind of bottles are my favourites for people who are stuck to desks all the time, because they're 2 litres, and basically you know that you need to have this 1.5 times. I don't drink out of this because it's a bit annoying, so, and my clients will kind of attest to this. I fill this bottle up and then I pour it into a glass through the day. But I've also recently treated myself to a very pretty Le Creuset teapot, and I will often start my days just drinking herbal tea out of that. So making water sexy, having water bottles that you actually like, that are actually quite pretty and that are actually quite fun, honestly will help you drink your water. So that's the first thing. Second thing, nice gym gear. Okay, so by nice gym gear, I don't necessarily mean cheap gym gear or expensive gym gear. I just mean gym gear that kind of represents you. So Kat in this group is a really big fan of, is it Tickety Boo leggings? Like, they've got these really fancy, trendy, funky prints on them, and that really rocks her world. I'm all about black, not that you would ever guess, and I used to really like Gymshark, but I'm kind of going off them just now. It doesn't really matter. The point I'm making is it doesn't really matter what the brand is, as long as it fits you well and it makes you feel good when you're training. Because there's nothing worse than when you're already not in the mood to go to the gym or do a training session, and then you can't catch sight of yourself, and like you can see your pants through your, you know what I mean, if you're trying to squat and you can see your pants through your leggings, or if this doesn't fit right, or if that clashes with that. And I mean, there's not really any reason not to have nice gym kit. You could just have one gym outfit that you wear time and time and time again, but psychologically it really does make you feel a wee bit more up for going to the gym. So this is another example of making it easy to succeed. Have stuff that you like putting on. I buy ones that help they kind of squeeze me in at the tummy and make my bum look big, because that's what my goals are. So that's another one. Oh, Claire, you just bought Gymshark. Well, I actually love the style of Gymshark. For me, it's just more that I think that a couple of stitches have came away recently. They used to be really, really good for quality, but I don't think they are anymore, really. Sarah, you love gym gear, you like high-waisted, so any recommendations would be fab. So for high-waisted, I keep hearing that Fabletics, which is Kate Hudson's company, are supposed to be the bomb. Rider wear are really good and really reasonably priced as well. Gym gear is all hanging off me now, so this needs to be addressed. I love it, Laura. I can't wait. You're the most extra person ever, so I can't wait to see what you actually end up buying. Brought some really nice ones from H&M. Now, I've never tried H&M, but I've heard they're really good. Kate, you got a fab tartan St Andrew's flag skirt at Christmas. Plan to show it off in your 5k in Spain in October. Ah, love that. Ticky Boo black leggings are the bomb. Okay. Do you have to subscribe? Honestly, I've got no idea. So I've only heard good things about Fabletics, but maybe Jackie could tell us if you have to subscribe. I don't actually think you do. I think you get better pricing if you subscribe, but I think you can still buy and try if you don't. So next is protein supplements. This, yeah, Jackie's just replied saying you can cancel it. So protein supplements, and what I would say before I launch into this is please make sure you know what you're doing before you start using protein supplements. Protein supplements are protein powder, protein drinks. They are a really easy way of upping the protein intake without particularly upping your calories by too much. But I have known people in the past that see, oh well, fit people or, you know, people who are training, they're always taking protein. So I'll just take protein and see if it makes a difference for me. So what they end up doing is still eating the exact same, but then they add the protein in. And if these people were in a calorie surplus in the first place, all they're actually doing is adding in additional protein calories, which isn't necessarily a good thing for fat loss. So before I go into why and how I like to use protein supplements, I would say please make sure that you work with a coach or you read up on how they should be used and how the calories from them should be kind of implemented into your calorie allowance. Might not be with us, there's loads of information out there, but just to be clear, whey or any kind of additional protein supplement is not something that's just to be added straight into your diet. Your nutrition plan could include it, but don't just add it straight in as is. Okay? So first one to talk about is just whey protein, kind of bog standard. No, I don't have a referral code for my protein, but you know what? I really wish I did. For the amount of people that I send to it. So these ones are the kind of milk-based ones, and these are really good for making shakes, smoothies. I've had clients in the past making like protein pancakes out of them. I also add this to my porridge in the morning as well, and it is the business. So for every gram of protein, you get 4 calories. So for every scoop of this is 95 calories, and out of that you're getting 18 grams of protein. So it is really lean. It is a really good way of taking just your protein up without affecting your carbs and your fats at the same time. And carbs and fats, as we all know, are the ones that are really easy to get in. They're the fun ones, like the cheese and the bread. And this is something that we teach our clients about as well, just the importance of protein. We actually go into that quite early in our program. So this stuff is super versatile. You can cook with it. I've actually had clients in the past who have bought the unflavoured and they've added it to soups, and I thought that was really clever as well. But this bad boy, this is just the business, and lots of our clients are getting right into it. So the amount of clients I've had in the past that have said, oh, I can't do milky drinks, they make me feel sick. And these are relatively new to come from My Protein. I'm just trying to show you. So it's clear whey isolate, and they do it in lots of different flavours. What this does is it makes like a clear juice drink. So almost like a kind of squash. It's flat, you still add it to water. And Gemma, who's in our group, she's made popsicles with them before, and she said they were really good. But these are an even leaner way, an even more kind of protein dense way of supplementing protein, because these are 89 calories, of which 20 grams of protein. So of those 89 calories, 80 of those calories are pure protein. There's only 9 of those calories that aren't. And if you're used to using NutriCheck or MyFitnessPal, you'll understand that that is particularly impressive. So this is a very easy, very tasty way of getting protein up without having to wander about your house just like kind of gnawing on a chicken steak all day long. And yeah, I'm a big fan. Haven't tried this flavour yet. My favourite flavours are the bitter lemon or the mojito flavour. They're super duper. So I'm just going to catch up on the comments, and before I move on to the next thing, does anyone have any questions about protein supplements? So Jackie's confirmed you can cancel Fabletics. Yeah, Claire, I like Under Armour as well. I think their stuff's really good. I forgot about Under Armour. And Under Armour are often in TK Maxx, so you can often get really good prices. You've still not bought any yet. So do you mean you haven't bought any protein powder, Sarah? You love Ticky Boo, need high support bras for recommendations. Okay, M&S high impact. Shock. So yeah, this is why I love our group. This is why I love our ladies so much. One of the things I was going to talk about was a good sports bra. Now, luckily, doesn't really affect me. I've got a kind of a small B cup. I've always been quite flat chested. It doesn't bother me at all, but it actually does come in really handy in fitness because they're not getting in the way. But a lot of our ladies do have quite big boobs, and you know, they can get sore, especially if you're running or if you're lifting above your head. All the kind of chafing that can get quite painful. So the one that comes up time and time again is the shock absorber bra. It's supposed to be the absolute bomb. Never tried it, but it is the one that everyone recommends. I've heard they are quite expensive, but I've heard they're worth their weight in gold. So there you go, Claire. Sorry, Sarah, there's the answer to your question, and you've reminded me of one of the things that I was going to talk about. So Sarah, I would absolutely, you can actually get little packs of sample flavours of these. I'm not a fan of the sweet ones, so I got one before called Rainbow Candy, and it was absolutely rancid. But you can get packs, I think it's like 5 different flavours, and it's the exact same actually with these ones. So we send our clients out samples of these ones, but you can buy just the wee samples if you're not sure what you like, and then they're actually really handy to have in your bag, like if you're going on holiday or stuff like that. Yeah, so the collagen protein, I didn't find, I used collagen protein from My Protein. I didn't find much difference in it at all, but I know that you're a fan, Claire. I know that Emma's a fan as well. So it all seems so expensive. So yeah, I mean, it's not particularly expensive. I think this for 20 portions is about 13 quid. So if you think about that versus the price of that amount of chicken, I know I was on talking about chicken recently. In our meals, protein tends to be the most expensive thing on there. Parma Violet is horrible. And then these ones are actually substantially less expensive than the Whey isolate ones. So these are much better value, and they are obviously cheaper if you buy them in big bags. So because this one, I put it in my porridge, so I have it a lot of days, I buy the big massive bags, and it's much better value doing it that way. But yeah, if you buy it in just the little sachets, it is quite expensive. But so for example, these leggings, these are from Women's Health. I got them in the Black Friday sale, and they were like 15 quid, and they're really good. This bottle, I think, was about £9 from Amazon, but I've repurchased this many times. So yeah, if you only ever need it once and you don't lose things all the time, then this is very good value. Okay, right, on to the next things. Here we have a bag of resistance bands. So this is more, I think My Protein's really good value as well, Emma. This is more of a kind of fitness thing. You've probably seen resistance bands in the past. We incorporate them into our clients' home workouts, but it's typically the smaller ones, like the kind of booty bands. These ones here, though, I think they're about £20 for the bag of them, and you get them in different kind of resistances. And what you can do with these is absolutely incredible. So if you think of the cable pulley at a gym, you can replicate most movements from there with a resistance band. So this set comes with lots of different kind of colours and resistance. So you can make it more resistant or less resistant, or you can use several at a time to make it really kind of difficult. But what it also comes with is handles to attach to them. So you can use that to do like your deadlift. You can there's actually a hook that you can use to put behind a door as well, so that you can do things like your rows, or you can do your lateral pull downs. So if you're the type of person that isn't quite ready to get to the gym yet, then these are absolutely fantastic. They're brilliant, and the booty bands as well. So my husband and I, we're quite big gym people, and we are the people, we have been known to take a resistance band on holiday with us just to keep us going. But also resistance bands are really good for activating muscles. So a good example is, if you haven't heard, I'm trying to grow my glutes. I've been trying to grow my glutes for a long time, and for several months I was training my glutes and I couldn't feel them. Like, I just couldn't seem to activate them. And that's where resistance bands come in really handy. You can do things like your frog walks or your donkey kicks, and it targets your glutes or your bum especially. And yeah, it means that when you come to do your big lifts, like your thrusts or your sumo deadlifts and stuff like that, it's as if like a standby switch for your glutes. Like, glutes, we're going to work you now. So boom, here we go. Clear. This isn't even all of these bands, by the way. I think the heavier ones are out in my garage, because Chris and I sometimes train in the garage. So this make is Tom's Shoe, and definitely got it off Amazon. Next day delivery. I think they've gone up in price and then came back down, so just see how much they are. But do you know what they're really good for as well? They're good for training yourself to do pull-ups, because you can hook them under your foot and then they take part of your body's resistance, and then you just train with one with high resistance, and then once you're comfortable with that, you go less resistance, until you're pulling yourself up without a band at all. Okay. Yeah, my protein is really good value, especially if you've got codes to use as well. And I don't think I have ever been on my protein and there hasn't been some kind of code somewhere. And especially for all of our doctors, nurses, all of our blue light people, blue light card holders, I think they get a permanent 50% off discount at my protein. So it's good value, I think. Okay, so what else did I have on my list? Big one, step tracker. Okay, doesn't need to be a Fitbit, it doesn't need to be an Apple Watch, but step trackers are crazy important. Without a step tracker, it is really easy for us to kid on that we have done enough activity and that we've done enough movement, because we can just tell ourselves stories and then we believe them. Like, oh, I've went to the toilet a few times today, I've walked the dog, so I must have got my steps in. And then in reality, you look at your tracker and you've done 2,000 steps a day. I talk about NEAT all the time. It stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Study after study shows that for fat loss, take fitness out of it, purely for fat loss, the right level of NEAT is twice as effective as what we do in the gym. So this is why we know builders, brickies, cabin crew that are just always moving and they just never put any weight on. So a good way to motivate us to get our steps up is to wear some kind of tracker. I know Clara and Emma really like their hoop band as well. No, they're not absolutely accurate, but what they are is consistently inaccurate, if that makes sense. So if your steps are going up, they will show you that they're going up. If your steps are going down, they will show you that they're going down. You don't need to spend 100 quid, you don't need to spend 500 quid. I've seen step trackers on Amazon and eBay for £15. I would recommend, and I'm going to come to sleep in a wee minute, I would recommend getting one that tracks your sleep as well, because that is something that is very, very important with wellness. Using your phone to track your steps isn't good enough. You're not always going to have your phone on you and it's not tracking your heart rate. I really am a big fan of a fitness tracker. Another thing that I think is worth the money is premium version of whatever you're using to track your food. So that might be NutriCheck, it might be MyFitnessPal, but if you're looking to learn and understand more about macronutrients, particularly if you have goals around fat loss, then I do believe that it's worth, I think it's 40 quid a year, 30 quid a year or something like that. And that's because it shows you the breakdown of the macronutrients per meal, but it also shows you for each meal what is the highest in each macronutrient. So if you don't have the premium version of MyFitnessPal, all you will see is your totals for the day, and you won't know what's made your carbs go so high, or you won't know, why your protein's so low. But if you have premium MyFitnessPal, you can see per individual entry what each macronutrient is, and it's really, really handy. So yeah, I do think that is absolutely, absolutely worth it. Next thing is a journal. So as I said earlier, I've got kind of history with anxiety, but I think journaling is really, really handy, even if you don't, just to write down every day how you want to feel at the end of the day, what your intentions are, and then actually weekly, fortnightly having a journaling session. How am I feeling today? Why do I feel this way? How can I get out of it? Or what are my favourite things that happened today? Probably a good third of my clients, I get them to write down 3 things a day that they're grateful for, and or 3 things a day that they like about themselves. And this is just a place to keep our thoughts, to keep us nice and calm, and that kind of programming can be really, really helpful. It's a big part of the mindset training that we do. Okay, what have we got next? I think that most of the rest of the things are kind of focused around sleep. So sleep is massive when it comes to wellness. We need between 7 and 9 hours a night, and it should be good quality sleep. If you are going to bed at 10 and getting up at 6, then it is just not possible that you're getting 8 hours sleep. What you're getting there is 8 hours in your bed. So these are my favourite things for a really good night's sleep. And all the ladies that have ever worked with me know that I just love my sleep. They know that if you message me after 8 o'clock at night, I probably won't see it because I'm probably in my bed. I'm just all about it. So this is my favourite, and I mean my absolute favourite purchase when it comes to a good night's sleep. I am a side and a belly sleeper, and this is a contoured pillow from IKEA. It was also not expensive at all, 15 quid. I don't know if this is coming across here, but it has got 2 different levels of contour. It's got quite a high one and quite a low one, and it is amazing for me. I used to get a really sore neck when I was sleeping. So if you picture this, you can choose how much it's going to support your neck, if you want a little support or if you want a lot of support, and it has properly changed the way I sleep. I'm not joking, I take this camping with me because I just love it so much. This is probably the thing, out of all the things I've just described, the thing that I couldn't live without. It is absolutely fantastic. And there's only one of these in our house, so I know what my pillow is. And then to go with that, I have many satin pillowcases that I like to put on top of it. I know a lot of people are big into silk pillowcases, but there's no way I'm spending and dry cleaning a silk pillowcase when my 3-year-old son will almost definitely vomit on it. So I go for the kind of cheaper Primark equivalent and I just use a satin pillowcase. But I'm quite big into my skincare as well. But again, and I'm going to come on to this as well, the feel of the satin on your face, the smells that we're just about to talk about, it's quite important that we think of our wind down as a process. So when you're trying to sleep train a child, for example, it's all about routine, isn't it? So I have a particular pillow and I always make sure it's sprayed with lavender, but it feels a certain way as well. And this is me just touching on all of the senses to tell my brain, tell my body, it's time to wind down. It's time to wind down. Okay, we're nearly there, ladies. We won't be long. Other things that I really love for sleep are a really, really nice lavender candle. And this is quite new to me. It's a roll-on sleep essence that I put on my temples and my wrists. The gorgeous Sarah got me this for Christmas actually, and it is properly amazing. I hide it from my children because they love it as well. But it's just, as I say, triggering the senses. It smells like the time to go to sleep now. It looks like the time to go to sleep, making the room nice and dark. Okay? And then this is the last, I think, of my favourite things. Doesn't particularly need to be this one, but this is one of my favourite things that I do as part of my wind down routine, and this is a cleansing balm. I started using these probably just a couple of months ago. I'm quite a big fan of a lot of skincare groups and Carolyn Hiddens and whatnot, and I've read a lot about what they call the double cleanse. And I always thought, oh, that sounds like a load of nonsense. If I'm cleansing my skin is clean, that's absolutely fine. Until I started introducing what's called a double cleanse. So for anyone who isn't aware of cleansing balms you put straight onto your face. So you put onto your face when it's dry, and you actually massage it in for a good 30 seconds to a minute. They're oil-based, and their job is to break down any makeup or dirt that you have in your skin, and then you just wipe it off with a damp cloth. and then you would follow it with a kind of a soapy or maybe a silicone based cleanser. But this, the reason that I get into this so much is because of the smells. So I would only do a double cleanse at night, and I would do it when I'm getting ready for bed. So it smells like grapefruit. So when I put this on and when I feel it on my face, it's just that kind of sensory thing again. It's time to go to bed. We're winding down for the night. We've got the touch, we've got the smells, we've got the place. We're just telling all of our senses this is what's about to happen. The reason I love this one so much as well is that it is really high quality and really inexpensive. So this is only a tenner off of Amazon, and I'm a massive, massive fan. So that's all my favourite things that I actually use. A couple of things that the jury's out on. So I'll show you one of them. I got this for Christmas. It's a massage gun, and you use it for kind of like massaging. You massage yourself with it. It's battery operated. And I do enjoy it, but I've not had it long enough and I've not used it enough times to know whether it's going to be a game changer or not. And then the other thing I've invested in recently that I'm not sure about either is the sunrise clock. Mine is a Lumi one. When it works, it's great, but I'm such a kind of aggressive sleeper that sometimes the light, like 2 times since Christmas, I've actually just unplugged it when I've been half asleep. So I'm not sure if that's going to change my life in the way that it's changed other people's lives, to be absolutely fair. So that's me. That's my favourite things. Let me just get my glasses on so that I can read what everybody's saying. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add to that, or anything they'd like to ask about or disagree about, or any chat around this, ladies? A good alternative to lavender? Oh, I've got no idea. Eucalyptus and chamomile scents are usually mixed in with lavender, but I don't know. I don't know if them on their own are kind of as relaxing. Claire, you love your gun. I might have known you with a massage gun, Claire. Claire, what's your kind of favourite things that you've bought for health and wellness, and what is your least favourite things that you've bought? Another thing that comes up quite often in our group is the Ninja. We have some super fans of the Ninja, and we have some people who don't really love it. I don't have one because I've got all the things separately, and I think my husband would have a hairy canary if I brought another kitchen gadget into the house. Laura Ferguson, I've got real silk bedding and you can machine wash it with the right detergent. Laura Ferguson, of course you've got real silk bedding. Why does that not surprise me at all? Do you even have real silk bedding in the servants' quarters as well? Anyway, I wouldn't know how to wash silk. What can I be doing with it? I'm quite happy with my satin one. Okay, so I can see our numbers are dropping off. If we don't have any more questions, I'm going to leave you all to get on with your lovely evening. Any more? Earbuds. So is this like earbuds, headphone music earbuds? That's a good shout, Kate. Couldn't agree more. And actually another brilliant thing for walking and running, and it's so simple but not a lot of people think of it, is just a cap, so that it protects your face if it's raining or something like that. And it's another example of make it easy to succeed, make it hard to fail. You bought a Ninja at Christmas but never used it, Claire. Okay. Right, ladies, I hope this has been useful to you all. And yeah, Bluetooth earbuds, yeah. I hope you've had a nice time, and if you've got any questions about any of this, just let me know. And yeah, I think that's us. Karen, you love your Ninja. Claire, you like your Bose headphones. Super duper. Okay, right ladies, gonna love yous and leave yous. Take it easy. Bye. Good night. Bye 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 bye.